Perth may look calm and sunny, but it hides some dark and chilling secrets. From haunted prisons to ghostly hotels, real people have felt cold hands, heard whispers in the dark, and seen figures that vanish into thin air. These are not just stories. They're true experiences shared by locals and visitors. In this video, we'll take you inside 10 of the most haunted places in Perth. But be warned, once you hear these tales, you might never look at the city the same way again. Ready to uncover what really haunts Perth? Let's begin. If you love real ghost stories and creepy mysteries, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join us, if you dare, for more chilling tales every week. Fremantle Arts Centre. The Fremantle Arts Centre is one of the most haunted places in Perth, and its history explains why. A long time ago, before it became an art centre, this building was used as a mental asylum. It was built in the 1860s by convict labor and was originally called the Fremantle Lunatic Asylum. People who were considered mentally ill were kept here, but in those days, treatment was very poor. Patients were often locked away and many of them died inside the building. Over the years, it was also used as a women's home, a wartime shelter, and a museum. Each part of its history adds another layer to the strange and sad energy people say they feel there. Many visitors and workers at the center have reported ghostly experiences. People often say they feel cold spots in certain rooms even when the weather is warm. Some have heard strange footsteps in empty hallways, whispering voices when no one is around, and doors slamming shut on their own. Others have reported seeing ghostly figures walking through the building and disappearing into walls. One of the most well-known ghosts is said to be a woman who was once a patient. She is often seen staring out a window on the upper floor, dressed in old-fashioned clothes. Some staff say she moves through the building and they can feel her presence, especially at night when the center is quiet. There are also reports of sudden feelings of sadness or fear in certain rooms. One cleaner said she refused to go back into the building after she heard crying coming from an empty room. She said the sound was so real and painful that it gave her chills. Another visitor claimed they saw a shadowy figure standing at the end of a hallway only for it to vanish when they tried to get a better look. Paranormal investigators have also visited the site, and some say they picked up strange readings and voices using ghost hunting equipment. Despite these stories, the Fremantle Arts Centre remains open to the public and is used for art shows, music events, and workshops. Many people visit without experiencing anything unusual, but those who do often say the energy in the building is unlike anywhere else. It's not just the age of the place, but the feeling that something from the past is still there, watching. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, the stories from the Fremantle Arts Centre are hard to ignore and have made it one of the most talked about haunted places in Perth. Fremantle Prison. Fremantle Prison is one of the most haunted places in all of Australia. It was built in the 1850s by convicts and was used as a working prison for nearly 140 years. Thousands of men were locked up inside its stone walls, and many of them lived in terrible conditions. Some were hanged at the gallows, others died from sickness or injuries, and some took their own lives. The prison officially closed in 1991, but the building still stands today and is open for tours. People who visit often say they feel something strange, as if the past is still alive inside. Many ghost stories come from the prison's darkest areas, like death row, the gallows, and the solitary confinement cells. Visitors and staff have reported hearing footsteps when no one is there, doors slamming shut, and voices whispering from the empty cells. One of the most chilling areas is the gallows room, where 44 men were executed. People have said they feel cold or sick when they enter, and some have even fainted. There are stories of a ghostly figure standing under the noose, as if reliving his final moments. One of the most well-known ghosts is that of Moondyne Joe, a famous bushranger who escaped from the prison several times. Some people say they have seen a man who fits his description walking near his old cell. Others have heard banging noises and keys rattling, like someone trying to break free. There's also the story of a prison guard who still walks the halls. A few night staff members have reported seeing a man in an old uniform only for him to vanish when they get closer. The tunnels beneath the prison are another place full of strange events. These narrow, dark passages were once used to carry water, but now people can tour them by boat or foot. Many visitors say they feel watched while underground, and some have heard whispers or seen strange shadows. The feeling of being followed is common, even when no one else is around. Even though Fremantle Prison is no longer in use, it still holds the energy of all the pain and fear that once lived there. It's a popular spot for ghost tours, and people from all over the world come to see if they can experience something supernatural. While some visitors walk away with nothing more than a history lesson, others leave convinced that the spirits of the past are still trapped inside. Whether it's the cold air, the sounds, or the shadows, Fremantle Prison continues to be one of Perth's most haunted and mysterious places. Midland Town Hall. Midland Town Hall is a beautiful old building in Perth, but behind its grand appearance, there are many strange and creepy stories. It was built in 1907 and has been used for many things over the years, such as meetings, weddings, and community events. Because it is so old, it has seen many people come and go. Some believe that a few of those people never really left. Visitors, staff, and even cleaners have reported strange events that they cannot explain. These stories have made the Midland Town Hall known as one of the most haunted buildings in the area. One of the most common stories is about hearing footsteps when no one is there. People have said they were alone in the building but could clearly hear someone walking across the wooden floors above them. When they checked, no one was there. Others have heard voices, coughing, or even music playing from empty rooms. Some say it sounds like a piano or an old-fashioned radio. One security guard quit his job after he saw a figure standing on the stage late at night. He said the figure looked like a man in old clothes, just standing and staring into the dark. When the guard turned the lights on, the stage was empty. There is also a ghost that many people believe is a woman. Some say she wears a long dress and walks slowly across the balcony. A few people have claimed they felt a cold breeze just before seeing her, and then she disappears into thin air. During weddings or special events, some guests have told the staff they felt like someone was watching them or standing right behind them, but no one was there. One bride even said her veil was lifted on its own even though there was no wind inside the hall. The basement of the town hall is another area where strange things happen. Staff who go down there alone often report feeling scared for no reason. Some have seen shadows move across the walls even when there is no light source. Others have heard whispers or knocking sounds coming from behind the walls. Even when nothing is seen, people say the feeling in the air changes, it becomes heavy and cold like something is there with them. Even though there is no hard proof of ghosts, the number of stories told over the years makes many people believe that something strange is going on in Midland Town Hall. Whether it's spirits of the past or just the power of imagination, the building holds a mystery that draws people in. It remains a place where history and the unknown seem to live side by side. Kalamunda Hotel. The Kalamunda Hotel is a well-known old pub in the hills east of Perth, and many people believe it is haunted. It was built in the early 1900s and has been a popular place for locals and travelers ever since. Over the years, guests and staff have shared many stories about strange and scary things happening inside the hotel. Some believe that spirits from the past are still living there and their presence is felt through unexplained events. These ghost stories have become part of the hotel's history and charm. One of the most famous ghost stories is about a young woman named Mary. Local legends say that Mary was a worker or guest who died under mysterious or tragic circumstances in one of the upstairs rooms. Some people say she may have taken her own life, while others believe something more violent happened. Whatever the truth is, many guests have reported seeing the ghost of a woman in white walking through the hallways upstairs. She is often seen near room 24, which is said to be the most haunted room in the hotel. Some people say they have heard crying or soft footsteps outside their room late at night, only to find the hallway empty. Hotel staff have also experienced strange things. Some cleaners refuse to work upstairs alone because they feel like someone is watching them. Lights turn on and off by themselves and doors open and close even when no one is nearby. A few staff members have reported seeing objects move on their own or hearing whispers coming from empty rooms. One bartender said glasses suddenly shattered on the bar, even though no one was touching them. He said it felt like the air went cold just before it happened. Guests have also shared their own stories. Some say they felt pressure on their bed as if someone sat down beside them, but when they turned to look, no one was there. Others said they had terrible dreams while staying at the hotel, and one person even left in the middle of the night because they felt so scared. Paranormal investigators have visited the hotel and picked up strange readings on their devices. They believe that there may be more than one spirit living there. Even though the Kalamunda Hotel is known for its ghost stories, it still welcomes visitors every day. Many people go there to enjoy a meal or drink, hoping they might experience something unusual. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the stories from the Kalamunda Hotel are hard to forget. The building's age, the history of those who stayed there, and the many reports of unexplained events make it one of the most haunted places in Perth. Rose and Crown Hotel, Guildford. The Rose and Crown Hotel in Guildford is one of the oldest hotels in Western Australia. It was built in 1841 and has a long and rich history. Over the years, many people have stayed there, including travelers, soldiers, and local workers. Because the building is so old, it has seen both good times and dark times. Some believe that the spirits of the past still remain, and many guests and staff have shared stories about strange things happening inside the hotel. These stories have made the Rose and Crown one of the most talked about haunted places in Perth. One of the most common ghost stories is about a woman who is believed to haunt the upstairs rooms. People say she appears dressed in old-fashioned clothes and is often seen looking out the windows or standing silently at the end of a hallway. Some guests have reported hearing soft footsteps outside their rooms late at night, even when no one else is around. Others have said they woke up to the feeling that someone was standing next to their bed, but when they turned on the light, no one was there. Some even claimed they felt their blankets being pulled or their beds shaking slightly. The basement of the hotel is also known for being creepy. Long ago, it was used as a cool storage area and possibly even as a holding cell or hiding place during early colonial times. Staff who go down into the basement often feel uncomfortable. They describe a sudden drop in temperature and a heavy feeling in the air as if someone is watching them. One staff member said she saw a dark shadow move across the room even though she was alone and there were no windows or lights to cause it. Another strange event happened to a couple staying in one of the heritage rooms. They said the lights kept flickering, and the taps in the bathroom turned on by themselves. At first, they thought it was just old plumbing or wiring, but then they both saw a figure pass by their doorway even though the door was locked. They left the hotel early and said they wouldn't stay there again. Despite all these ghost stories, the Rose and Crown Hotel is still a popular place. Many people visit to enjoy the historic charm, good food, and relaxing atmosphere. Some even hope to catch a glimpse of something supernatural. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the stories from the Rose and Crown are well known in Perth. Its long history and the many strange reports make it one of the most haunted and mysterious places in the area. Woodman Point Quarantine Station. Woodman Point Quarantine Station is one of the most haunted places near Perth, and its dark past explains why. It was first built in the late 1800s to stop the spread of deadly diseases like smallpox, cholera, and Spanish flu. Ships arriving from overseas had to stop here before passengers could enter Western Australia. Anyone who showed signs of sickness was taken off the ship and kept at the station. Some people recovered, but many others died there. Because of this, the area has a sad history, full of suffering, fear, and loss. Many of the old buildings still stand today, including the isolation hospital, morgue, and crematorium. People who visit the site often report feeling uneasy, especially around the old hospital and morgue. Some say they feel a cold wind suddenly blow past them even when there is no breeze. Others say they feel like they are being watched, especially when walking alone. Visitors have heard crying, coughing, and whispers coming from empty rooms. At night, some people have seen lights flicker or strange shadows moving along the walls. One of the most well-known ghost stories is about a young boy who died from disease at the station. People say they've seen a small figure standing near the hospital windows or running through the grass near the buildings. He never speaks but is often seen looking sad or confused. A few visitors said they heard the sound of a child's laughter echoing through the empty rooms, even though there were no children around. Staff who work at the site, especially those who do tours, have shared their own strange experiences. Some say their equipment stops working when they enter certain buildings. Others report hearing knocks on walls or footsteps following them through the halls. One guide said she was touched on the shoulder, but no one was there. The feeling was so strong and real that she turned around, thinking someone was behind her. Over the years, paranormal investigators have visited the station and claimed to pick up ghostly voices and unexplained energy readings. They believe the spirits of those who died there are still present. The sadness and fear from the past seem to remain trapped in the air. Even if nothing is seen, many people say they feel the heaviness of the place, as if the walls still remember what happened there. Today, Woodman Point is used for tours and school camps, but the ghost stories continue. It may look peaceful from the outside, but those who visit often leave with a strange feeling that they can't explain. The station's long, tragic history makes it one of the eeriest and most haunted locations near Perth. Guildford Jail. Guildford Jail is a small but very old prison located in the historic town of Guildford near Perth. It was built in the 1840s and was used to hold local prisoners, including convicts, bushrangers, and people awaiting trial. Even though it's not as large as Fremantle Prison, it has a dark and unsettling feeling. The building is made of thick stone with small cells and heavy doors. Over the years, people have said that something about the place just doesn't feel right. Many believe that the spirits of former prisoners are still trapped inside. Visitors to the jail have reported hearing strange sounds, like footsteps echoing through empty hallways or the clanking of metal chains. Some say they've heard crying or moaning coming from the old cells, especially late in the day when the building is quiet. One of the most common reports is the feeling of being watched even when alone. People have described sudden chills, headaches, or feeling short of breath while walking through the tiny rooms. Some say it feels like the sadness and anger of the prisoners never really left. One story often told by locals is about a man who died in one of the cells under strange circumstances. Some believe he was wrongly accused and died in great distress. Since then, several people have claimed to see a shadowy figure sitting in the corner of one of the cells. When they get closer, the figure disappears. One visitor even said they felt someone grab their arm while standing in the cell, though no one else was there. The experience frightened them so much that they left immediately. The jail is no longer used as a prison, but the building still stands and is part of Guildford's Heritage Trail. Tour guides who work there say they've had lights turn off by themselves and doors slam shut without any wind. One guide said she felt a cold breath on her neck while talking to a group of school children even though no one was behind her. These types of stories have been shared for many years and continue to make people curious about what really goes on inside. Even though Guildford Jail is small, it leaves a strong impression on those who visit. Its history is filled with pain, fear, and punishment. The old walls seem to hold onto that energy. Whether it's the power of suggestion or real paranormal activity, the stories from this quiet little prison continue to grow. For many, it remains one of the most haunted places in the Perth area, and not just because of what happened there, but because of what might still be happening inside. Point Walter Reserve. Point Walter Reserve is a beautiful and peaceful place by the Swan River in Perth, known for its long sandbar, calm waters, and picnic spots. Families visit during the day to relax, swim, and enjoy nature. But when the sun goes down, the atmosphere changes. For many years, people have shared stories about strange and creepy experiences in this area, especially at night. Some believe that Point Walter is haunted by spirits connected to its long and mysterious past. Long ago, before European settlement, the land around Point Walter was used by the Noongar people, the local Aboriginal group. It was considered a spiritual place, and there are ancient stories about spirits that live in the land and water. Some believe that these spirits are still present and make their presence known to people who are not respectful or who stay too long after dark. Visitors have reported hearing voices coming from the water, even when no one is swimming. Others have heard drumming sounds, footsteps on the sandbar, or the sound of someone calling their name when no one is there. One of the most well-known ghost stories is about a woman seen walking along the water's edge late at night. People say she wears a white dress and appears to be searching for something. When they try to approach her, she disappears into the mist. A few people have said they followed what they thought was a person, only to find no footprints and no one there. The story says she might be the spirit of someone who drowned or lost a loved one long ago. Campers and night walkers have also spoken about a feeling of being watched, especially near the trees and the old jetty area. Some people say they saw glowing lights moving between the trees or across the sandbar with no clear source. One man said his dog started barking wildly at nothing, then ran away in fear and refused to go near the water again. Others have felt sudden cold winds even on warm nights and said it made them feel uneasy or sick. Despite all these stories, Point Walter remains a popular place for daytime visitors. But the ghost stories still linger in the minds of those who have experienced them. Whether it's the strong energy of the land, the history of the place, or something truly supernatural, many believe that Point Walter holds secrets that come alive at night. For those who visit after dark, the peaceful river can suddenly feel very strange and full of mystery. Claremont Mental Hospital, Swambin Hospital. Claremont Mental Hospital, also known as Swamban Hospital, was once the largest psychiatric hospital in Western Australia. It opened in the early 1900s and operated for many decades. It was built to treat people with mental health issues, but during those times, understanding of mental illness was very poor. Many patients were kept in small rooms, locked away for years, and given treatments that would now be considered cruel or dangerous. Some people were sent there simply because they behaved differently or had no family to care for them. The hospital closed in the 1980s, but its buildings still stand, empty and forgotten. Over the years, many people have reported that the hospital is haunted. Those who visit the old site often say the place feels heavy and cold even on sunny days. There are reports of strange sounds coming from the empty buildings, like footsteps, distant screams, and doors slamming shut by themselves. Some people say they've heard voices whispering, but when they look around, no one is there. One visitor said they heard the sound of a woman crying from behind a locked door, but when they unlocked it, the room was completely empty. Many believe the spirits of former patients are still trapped inside the hospital, unable to move on. One of the most chilling stories comes from a man who was exploring the old hospital at night. He said he saw a figure standing at the end of a hallway. It looked like a nurse, wearing an old-fashioned uniform, but her face was pale and didn't look human. When he turned to run, he heard footsteps chasing him, but when he looked back, no one was there. Others have said they've seen ghostly shadows moving through the rooms, or lights flickering in areas with no electricity. Paranormal investigators have also visited the site and said they picked up strange readings, cold spots, and even ghostly voices on their recorders. Even people who live nearby say the building gives them an eerie feeling. Some have reported hearing screams at night or seeing lights on in the old wards even though no one is supposed to be inside. A few people who worked in the hospital before it closed said there were certain rooms they never felt comfortable entering, and some staff even asked to be moved to different parts of the building. Claremont Mental Hospital is now abandoned, but its past still seems alive in the stories people tell. The pain, fear, and sadness of the people who once lived there may still echo through its halls. Many believe it is one of the most haunted places in Perth, and even those who don't believe in ghosts admit that something about the place just doesn't feel right. Gosnell's Railway Markets. Gosnell's Railway Markets was once a lively and popular place in Perth where people came to shop, eat, and enjoy weekend events. It had small shops, food stalls, and fun activities for families. But over time, people started talking about strange things happening there, especially after dark. Some workers and visitors began to notice odd sounds, cold spots, and a strange feeling of being watched. These reports led many to believe that the markets were haunted by spirits from the past, possibly connected to the land or the nearby railway line. The land where the markets were built has a long history. Long before the markets existed, the area was part of the old railway system, and several accidents are believed to have happened nearby. There are stories of people who died on the tracks or while working in dangerous conditions. Some locals say the land itself holds energy from those past events, and that energy never really went away. Workers at the markets often reported hearing footsteps on the wooden floors when the shops were closed and voices calling out from empty stalls. One of the most talked about stories is about a shadow figure seen walking through the market aisles at night. Security guards said they saw a tall, dark shape move past them quickly, but when they checked the cameras, nothing showed up. Some staff said they felt cold air rush past them or lights flicker without any electrical problem. One woman who worked at a food stall claimed she kept finding her items moved or knocked over, even though no one had touched them. There was also a small area of the market that people avoided. It was a corner near the back that always felt colder than the rest of the building. Some said they felt sick or dizzy when standing there too long. A few believed the area was a hot spot for paranormal activity. Paranormal investigators who visited the site claimed to capture strange noises, sudden drops in temperature, and ghostly whispers during the night. Even though the Gosnell's Railway Markets eventually closed down, the stories have not stopped. People who worked there still talk about their experiences, and ghost hunters sometimes visit the empty site hoping to catch something unusual. The quiet, abandoned space now feels very different from the lively market it once was. For many, the strange events and ghostly sightings are proof that something from the past still lingers there. Whether it's the land's history, the nearby railway, or something else, the Gosnell's Railway Markets remains one of Perth's most mysterious and haunted places.